Thank you so much for joining me here at the Live Desk. I am Janae Hancock. Today, we are going beyond the headlines as we look ahead to the big game on Sunday against the Miami Dolphins, the Chiefs in Germany. We know a lot of local officials left yesterday. We know the Chiefs left today, and we have several fans that will be leaving probably within the next few hours. And someone that will be opening or welcoming them with open arms is going to be this woman you see here on your screen. This is Olivia Harlan Dekker. She is a Kansas Citian. She is also a Sky Sports NFL reporter. Olivia, I want to thank you so much for joining me here at the Live Desk. Like I said, I know you have a busy schedule, busy next few days ahead of you.
Yeah, busy next 2 weeks because I'm going to Frankfurt first for this game, of course, and then the next week I'm staying through for Colts and Patriots. So it's super fun that these two games are back to back, and I'm really excited to be in a great city and to be able to explore Germany in between games a little bit and soak up NFL in Germany.
Right, and let's talk a little bit more about the NFL in Germany. I mentioned the fact that you are from Kansas City. How excited are you looking ahead to this upcoming Sunday, the Kansas City Chiefs with the Miami Dolphins?
Well, of course, I'm a Chiefs fan, and I'm excited for that. But I'm really excited because of the matchup. You know, when they scheduled this in the offseason, you never know how good it'll actually be in week 9. And here it is, one of the best games of the weekend, if not the best game. It's also the best international game ever played based on results and schedule because both teams are 4 games over 500. So statistically, this is it. There's been 49 games played overseas, and this is the best one by far.
And I know last weekend's game with the Chiefs and the Broncos, that was a shocker for a lot of people. And I think that was probably the best game that I've seen so far this season. But how do you think the Chiefs are going to do this upcoming Sunday after that shocking loss last Sunday?
Well, I know everyone's going to blame Patrick Mahomes having the flu, and I think that's what you've got to do in this spot. Although I feel horrible for him. Who wants to get on a 9-hour flight as you're still fighting off the flu? So I really hope that he's at full health. I'm going to Chiefs practice tomorrow. I'm excited to see what he looks like in person because he clearly was uncharacteristic and didn't look himself. So his health is imperative to a Chiefs win. And then, of course, the main storyline with the Chiefs all season has been the lack of a top receiver. So it can't just all be on Travis Kelce. I'm curious to see if maybe overseas they want to get creative. We know Andy Reid has a large bag of tricks, and maybe he can start feeding the right person because that's been the Chiefs' Achilles heel this season is no clear receiver.
And I know we've been watching their press conferences all week. I'm sure you have as well. And you said you have the Chiefs practice tomorrow, but also we also have Tyreek Hill to look out for. He played for the Chiefs and now he's with the Dolphins. How do you think that matchup is going to be?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I know some of the secondary are looking at old footage of Tyreek practicing as a Chief because he's going against their defense. So they're looking at what he even did in practice when he was wearing red. So it's really interesting. Like L'Jarius Sneed is a guy who used to have to go against him in practice, and now he gets to do it for real. So it's going to be interesting. I think the showboatness that we love about Tyreek Hill, depending what side you're on, is going to be on full display. Although he's very clear he does not want to get fined anymore. He's been fined a ton this season. So he's had to be a bit more demure. You know, he likes to throw a peace sign as he's beating a defender, and that's always just to rile them up. And the celebration dances in the end zone. So I'm curious to see if he's going to just let it fly, maybe accept a couple fines, and really stick it to his old team.
And I want to take a look at some file video we have of the Chiefs playing the Dolphins last season. And I know Tyreek Hill in a press conference this week, he said that he cannot wait to look forward to talking trash to quarterback Patrick Mahomes. But I also want to touch on something. You have been covering the NFL for 10 years and you're now living in London. What has that experience been like? I want to check in on, Kansas City and how's it going out there for you?
Well, thank you. That's very nice. We love London. My husband plays professional basketball, so that has moved us all over the world. Russia, Turkey. He was in the NBA for 5 years, and I think we were in a different city all 5 of those years. So we've just been really light on our feet and have moved all over. But this London move has really stuck as he signed an extension here. So we're here for the foreseeable future. As I kind of got that news, I started to set up my own roots in my career because I was still having to fly back to the States quite frequently to cover some NFL games. And of course, going to the Super Bowl. And that was the end of my season. And then I could be more overseas with him. But now I get to do both. So being in London is the perfect location for us as I still get to cover the NFL for Sky Sports, which has all the NFL rights. and is definitely the home of the NFL overseas. So I'm just thrilled that they accepted an American with open arms. A lot of my coworkers are Brits, a couple Americans, but I think it's appropriate to have an American voice for an American sport to help spread it around the world.
I think that is awesome, continuing your career internationally. So congratulations on that. But also, are you starting, I know you're exploring Germany right now, but are you starting to see those Kansas City Chiefs fans roll in? And if so, how has that been? Have they recognized you at all?
Well, I go to Frankfurt tomorrow, to be clear. So I can't speak to that yet, but I will say when the NFL had their 3 straight weekends here in London, it was filled with fans from all 32 teams. But I did see a ton of Patrick Mahomes jerseys. They are crazy for that guy over here. And I know Germany in particular, they just love him. So I'm expecting, and from everything I'm hearing, and even on our production calls and everything with good intel, it will be a sea of red in Frankfurt. He is an international celebrity and a star. So it's really great for the NFL to have him over here. You know, it's a big deal picking what teams come overseas, and you never know how good a team will be at that point in the season. And for them to be this good, facing a team that's this good at the right time with a major star, and not to mention all the storylines like Tyreek Hill, as you said, it's just a perfect concoction.
Yeah, the atmosphere is going to be insane this upcoming Sunday, and I'm sure in the next few days. I do want to touch on something as we take a look at some photos. Before I let you go, Olivia, I do know your dad is Kevin Harlan. What is it like to have a legend to look up to? I mean, you've obviously experienced so much throughout your career thus far, but how has it been? There's a photo of both of you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. I think in that photo too, I was pregnant with my first baby. And so we are laughing that, oh, it's 3 generations. 3 generations were at Arrowhead working that day. So it's amazing. Actually, his dad too was the CEO and president of the Green Bay Packers for 20 years. So I'm the 3rd generation in my family to work in the NFL. So I have very big shoes to follow, but 2 class acts and my grandpa and my dad who have just done absolutely everything the right way. And you know, anyone who's had the pleasure of working with either have the best things to say. There's so much crossover, especially in media, that my dad and I have not only worked games together, but separately, we've gotten to work with so many of the same people, producers, graphics editors, videographers, everything, who have somehow ended up on some crews that we've had together. And people just cannot say enough nice things about him, which always not only warms my heart, but it also sets a high bar for just who you are on and off camera. So he's been an amazing coach. I always say he's like my coach in broadcasting, and he set a really good example.
I love that. And you talk about him being your coach in broadcasting. I have to follow that up with the best advice that he's given you so far.
Outwork everyone in the room. There's just no excuse. You know, he says you're always going to find someone who's smarter, better looking, better connections. There's always going to be someone better something than you, but only you can control how hard you prep. So I'd put my prep almost against anyone's, and I'm almost neurotic about it because I just feel like at the end of the day, that's the best thing you have, especially as a sideline reporter, when you have to think so quickly on your feet. You got to have a lot. You got to have a lot ready. So to just have a strong preparation and a strong sense of study leading up to a game is the best attribute for a sideline reporter.
We are getting some motivational quotes from Olivia today. I love it. Any final thoughts that you want to leave our viewers before we let you go?
You know, I think this game is going to be really pivotal for the Chiefs. It's so critical. These are the top 2 best bets to win the AFC as far as these 2 teams. So either team will take a direction here for better, for worse. I think the Dolphins typically don't play well against great teams and great defenses. So it could be a really great spot for Kansas City to get right, shake the dust off the Denver loss, and get back to their championship ways.
Olivia, I want to thank you so much for joining me here at the live desk. Like I said, I know you have a busy schedule ahead of you. Safe travels and have a great time on Sunday.
Thank you so much. It was so fun being on.
Of course. Alrighty, I do want to take a look at some file video that we showed you all earlier. Chiefs face the Miami Dolphins this Sunday in Frankfurt, Germany. Kickoff is at 8:30 Central Time in the morning. As we look ahead to game day, our coverage here at KCTV5 continues. We'll break down where you can watch the game here locally and how businesses are preparing for the early morning crowd. Our next newscast starts at 3:30.